Hey guys, Kris here. In this video, we are doing a Q&A. I haven't done one of these in, well, like forever. So we're in Bergen now. The weather is terrible. And yeah, it is the middle of June, even though I'm wearing a down jacket. It is because it's about 11 degrees Celsius and rainy weather here. So yeah, why not do a Q&A when, yeah, the weather isn't on our side. And I'm going to be answering and reacting to questions from the video I did last week, which was the real reason the Tesla Model S Plaid Plus was canceled. I got a whole bunch of comments on that video. You guys seem to like the topic a lot, and to my surprise, even though I'm talking about Tesla and I'm not, the most positive person about Tesla always, that video only got 16 down likes or downvotes out of about 300 upvotes. So guys, amazing. Thank you very much. So without further ado, let's hop into the questions. Marcus Johansson says, Tesla needs to start delivering Model Y in Europe now, or a lot of potential customers will be going to Volkswagen, Audi, Skoda, BMW, and Mercedes. A year ago, I could bet Tesla would take a huge market share in Europe with the Model Y in 2021, but this seems highly unlikely now. And yeah, I talked about this in my video. I didn't go, too deep into the topic, so we'll touch upon that in this question or this comment. And I totally agree. I know several people who have, chosen the ID4, the Skoda Enyaq, and also an Audi e-tron, the big e-tron, not even the Q4 e-tron, instead of the Model Y, because they have been waiting and waiting and waiting. And these are people who, either had a Model S or a Model 3. And yeah, Tesla doesn't have a Model Y to deliver. And for a lot of people, the Model X is too expensive, it's too big, it's too complicated. People, want a traditional EV. They wanted basically an upgrade from their Model 3. And there the Model Y was, a very good alternative. But now that we have so many competitors that are on the market, you can go out and get one today. Or next week or in 2 weeks. You don't have to wait for the Gigafactory in Berlin to open, which will probably happen in January if we're lucky. And then they have to, produce the cars, and then they have to ship them. So you're talking about from the factory starts, you're talking another 1 or 2 or even 3 months before you can get delivered a car. So yeah, I totally agree that Tesla are losing market share in Europe as it stands now without a Model Y to deliver, and the situation will keep on being like that for probably almost another year. So it's unfortunate. I can't wait to drive the Model Y. I think it's going to be a very cool and awesome vehicle. But yeah, for people who want, a family SUV now, which is electric, you can go out and buy a whole bunch of competitors that, have similar tech to the Model Y, that even in some regards, has better range according to the WLTP, the Mustang Mach-E, the ID4 in certain specs, the Skoda Enyaq in certain specs, and the Audi Q4 e-tron in certain specs. So yeah, I do think that they're losing loyal customers who have been loyal to the brand for several years because they don't have a vehicle to deliver. Gray Pilot says, I always like your amazing videos. You're one of the best on EVs and I value your opinion. Well, thank you very much. I have an order for a Cybertruck and I hope it comes in close to the specs. Hopefully it will start coming off the production line in early 2022. I was one who bought all the hype about the Model Y. My son bought a performance Model 3 after he drove my new 2021 Model Y. He wishes he had waited and bought it. If the Cybertruck is anywhere close to the advertised statistics, I will be selling my new Chevrolet Silverado 2500 HD diesel and buy the Tesla. I like the Ford, but it's not for me for a lot of reasons. And yeah, this is totally valid, and thank you so much for your comments. I do appreciate it. I'm really glad that you people, like my videos. That really means a lot to me. And yeah, 2022 in the US. Guys, 2022 is 6 months away from now. It's 2022. We are in the middle of June. it's a little more than 6 months. We are then in 2022. And as I said, we don't even have a Model Y in Europe yet. The Plaid has just been released, delivered in the US of this summer. Do you really think we are only 6 months to 12 months away from having a production ready off the assembly line Cybertruck? I don't think we're even close. I don't think we're even close. A lot of people commented about the Cybertruck, and I really don't think, that's my honest opinion, I really don't think it's going to come to market. And if it does, it's not going to be anything close to what Tesla have shown. I mean, think about it, guys. They haven't even shown, a concept interior. They haven't shown anything close to being, production ready with all the regulations in Europe, in the US. So yeah, that car as it is now is far away from production. It's a concept, and if you're lucky, if we're lucky, if we get the Cybertruck, and I really do hope, because it's a cool concept and a lot of people are waiting for it, but honest opinion, I don't think it's going to come. But if it's coming, it's at least 3, maybe 4 years away. So yeah, cross your fingers, and I would go for the F-150. We're going to touch upon that later in another question. But yeah, I totally get, if you're a Chevy person, you may not want like a Ford. I totally understand that. So that is, a valid point for a lot of people. Tobia asks, are you going to make a new 615 kilometer range test in the Polestar 2 you are sitting in now, in this great summer weather there is now? So, the video I made about the Model S being canceled was in the Polestar 2 I'm loaning from Polestar. And yeah, I'm going to do that in a few weeks. So I have this EQC now. I'm in Bergen. I'm in Bergen visiting my mother with my daughter. So I'm not, making too many videos this weekend or early this week, but I'm going back to Oslo tomorrow, and I will be making all the videos on this car. So, after this video, we will get, the range test, the charging test, the Norwegian high-speed run, and all the good videos. And then after I have this car, I have the EQA for a week, and we'll be pumping out all of those videos. And then after the EQA, I have the ID4 GTX, the 4-wheel drive version. But in between that, I have maybe half a week where I'm going to make, new content on the Polestar 2. And I will be doing a new Norwegian high-speed run. So yes, in a few, I'm guesstimating in about 2 weeks, I will do a new Norwegian high-speed run, which is the 615 kilometer race or range test, whatever you want to call it, in the Polestar 2. Dablo says, I think you are spot on. I'm no Tesla fanboy, and I doubt I will ever get a Tesla, but I still think they are important for the industry. They are the one driving the competition to develop better EVs faster. I really don't want the history to repeat itself. This time where companies that are too comfortable on top stop being on off the edge in development and then go to the grave. Examples: Nokia, Kodak. Yeah, this is a very good point. I didn't touch upon this too much, in my, video where I talked about the Model S Plaid Plus being canceled. And of course, Tesla are paramount to where we are in the world when it comes to EVs. I wouldn't probably be sitting in this EQC. None of us would probably be sitting in like a Mercedes EQC like this if it wasn't for the push that Tesla made to EVs, which, forced all basically car manufacturers to push and also governments to push. They have played a huge role, and that has been one of Elon Musk's, missions, is to move the world into EVs. And yeah, we have to commend him for that and never forget that, because that is a huge part of it. But more of what I was talking about in that video, the competition of where they sit. And, Dablo has a very, very good point here, because I worked in consumer tech about maybe like 15 to 10 years ago. Yeah, 15 to 10 years ago. When, Nokia were at the top of their game. And then, Apple announced the iPhone, and then Samsung came with the Galaxy S series, and Nokia didn't really have, a competing product. And they went from being the most, the biggest phone company with the most revenue in the world to go bankrupt just a few years later. And that really shows you how fierce and harsh competition can be if you're not on top of your game. Even though if you're the biggest company in the world, it really doesn't matter. And I mean, at one point, I think Nokia were spending as much in R&D as the next like 5 companies in line. Like they alone were spending more money in R&D as Sony Ericsson, Apple, you know, Samsung, LG combined. It was crazy, but I mean, that's a different story that I mean, I'm not going to make that video on this channel, but you know, just Google the downfall of Nokia and it's very fascinating. I don't think Tesla, you know, Tesla are built on a very different basis, and the problem, just in short, with Nokia was that they were focusing too much on the hardware and not the software. You know, that was their philosophy. They produced good hardware, and what iPhone did was they showed you that with good software you don't need the best hardware, because people at the time were laughing at the iPhone. You know, it didn't even have 3G when the first one was released in 2007. It didn't, yeah, it had lacking so much hardware that Nokia's had, but it really doesn't matter because the experience of the software is really what led to the demise and the downfall of Nokia. And you know, I think Tesla do a lot of things well. They do hardware well, they do software well. What other brands do better is, you know, comfort, is luxury. So I think, you know, if they keep pushing forward the way they are, I don't think we will see, you know, a Nokia situation of Tesla, but there's always a possibility. That's, you know, the danger of being the top dog in your industry. Then we have today's last question, and that is asked by Sander Stensrud, and he asked this question, which is in Norwegian: Tror du F150 kommer till Norge? So he's asking, do I think the F150 Lightning will come to Norway? And I actually think it will come to Norway. I hope it will come to Norway. And a lot of people may not know that we actually love pickup trucks here in Norway. We have a love for pickup trucks that they may not have in other European cities, and that may be because, you know, we have a lot of, you know, rural areas, we have a lot of, you know, countryside, you know, because of the topography of Norway. It's quite a big and long country, even though we aren't more than, you know, a little more than 5 million people here. We actually love pickup trucks, and that may be also because in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, because of our taxation system on cars. I made a whole video about that, which is called The Real Reason Norway is the #1 leader when it comes to EVs. Link in the description box down below. Trucks, pickup trucks, and, you know, large SUVs, which were, you know, pickup truck based, were actually quite cheap to purchase in Norway comparable to other cars, because the maximum weight was over 3.5 tons, meaning they were light trucks, meaning you didn't have the same taxes you had on smaller cars. So, you know, I grew up in a country here where, you know, Ford F-150s, you know, Chevrolet Silverados, Chevrolet Tahoes, Ford Excursions, and those type of cars were as common as any other, you know, smaller pickup truck or SUV. So we have a love for pickup trucks in Norway, and I think there's a real place for the F150 Lightning. It will, you know, fit a lot of people well, because like here in Bergen, so I live in Oslo, but I've grown up here in Bergen. In Oslo, the snow plows, you know, when they plow the snow, are either big trucks or tractors. In Bergen, they exclusively use pickup trucks. And if you're from Bergen, think about this now. Have you ever seen a tractor plowing snow here in Bergen? No. They are done by pickup trucks. I know people who own, you know, landscaping companies, and in the winter, what they do is they have a snowplow on their pickup. You know, it could be a Ford Ranger, it could be a Volkswagen Amarok, or it could be a Ford 100 F-150 or a Chevrolet Silverado. But they are exclusively done by pickup trucks, and I think that goes for the whole west coast of Norway. So, I mean, they are practical vehicles here that people actually use as intended. So the F150 Lightning, I can't wait to test drive one, and I think that will actually be a very well-selling car here in Norway. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this Q&A. I should do more of these because I think it's kind of fun, you know, interacting more with you guys, and you guys have a lot of cool and awesome comments, and I read all the comments. I just don't have time to answer and reply to all of them because yeah, my schedule is so busy, and I'm just trying to push out as many videos as possible, and that means I don't always have the time to, you know, answer all the comments, but I do read them, so keep commenting down below. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below, and for more car content, as always guys, please subscribe. See you guys later and goodbye.